Hey guys, Nick Espinosa, your chief security fanatic here, and today we're actually talking about news. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but when I wake up every morning, I read the news. Technology, cybersecurity, foreign policy, politics, you name it, I read constantly. I also do that in part because I like to share with you guys stuff that I've read that I think you're going to find fascinating because I find it fascinating, and I'm hoping you find it fascinating because I find it fascinating. But that's not why we are here. I recently learned, thanks to an article in the New York Times, that a lot of the publications and news articles that you and I may be reading are actually written by artificial intelligence. And I had no idea about this, but I guess it makes sense in some ways. So the example that they're using in the New York Times article is that roughly 1/3 of the content published by Bloomberg News uses some form of automated technology. Now, Bloomberg is using a program or a tool called Cyborg that assists reporters in basically creating these things. Now, they've been applying it to financial reports. So if a company releases, let's say, a financial statement or the SEC or something like that, Cyborg will go ahead, take this and convert it into an article for them so that they can turn around and publish it very fast. But they're not the only ones doing this. So it has a limited use right now, but we are seeing it in various ways. The Associated Press is using it to report on minor league baseball games, for example. The Washington Post is using it to report on high school football, which I didn't even know they reported on. The Los Angeles Times is using it for earthquake coverage. It's a global phenomenon in the sense that The Guardian, their Australian edition, literally just published its first article regarding annual political donations using, again, writing it in artificial intelligence. And so it seems to be going on and on and on, and a lot of publishers are using this in various ways. Now, one of the reasons why this is very profitable for them is because, one, they've been downsizing reporters left and right. You might have heard the news in the last couple of weeks that organizations like BuzzFeed and some others have been cutting reporters, but obviously the artificial intelligence is there to stay. It also allows them to increase their coverage and pump out more volume. So the Associated Press, for example, went from producing roughly 300 articles per quarter to over 3,700 per quarter thanks to artificial intelligence and reporting. And so we are going to continue to see a rise of this, but obviously as somebody who writes their own articles for Forbes, and Forbes was listed as one of those organizations that is using artificial intelligence, it's very interesting because I don't think they can necessarily outsource opinion pieces like what I write, but for hard reporting, we may see that move to computers. That also opens up another interesting can of worms in the sense of how we program these things. Is there inherent bias? What if you are very much on the far left or the far right, and now you're programming artificial intelligence to use keywords, buzzwords, all this kind of stuff? Or do you think it can be completely objective in the sense that the AI just does what the AI does? Now, we've seen obvious examples of AI going completely off the rails. Microsoft's Tay, for example, went completely nuts and with 24 hours was praising Adolf Hitler purely thanks to reading Twitter, which, I mean, insert Twitter joke there. I think that's where civility goes to die. But you get my point here, is that if we are looking at taking reports, let's say official accounting reports, and then converting them into something that's different than reporting on something that may be open to interpretation, such as a march or a rally, are we leaving that up to AI? That's going to be an interesting question for the future, and it may also taint how we are getting the news, or it may make us look at actual reporting of facts a little more skeptically. So tell me what you think about that, but I thought that was absolutely fascinating. And until then, I guess I'm going to keep reading the news, and until I can figure out an AI to do these videos for me, you're going to keep seeing my mug here. So that is your news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.